Welcome students. Today we will solve 8th problem on orthographic projections. So let us start the lecture. So we are given one object and we are asked to draw its front and top view in first angle of projection. We know whenever we have to draw projections of any object, we first have to locate the front side of the object. In this picture we are given one arrowhead and it is marked as front. It means we have to assume that observer is standing this side and this is the front side of the object. And we know we have to solve this question in first angle of projection. That means we have to assume object is in the first quadrant. If this is the position of the observer and this is the front side of the object and object is in the first quadrant, that means the position of vertical plane is behind the object and position of horizontal plane is below the object. Now before starting the discussion on its projections, let us see the dimensions also. If this is the position of the observer, that means all the dimensions moving from left to right of the observer are length dimensions. All dimensions moving in our direction are height dimensions. Dimensions moving away from observer are width dimensions for the observer. Now let us start with the projections of this particular object. Let us first discuss about its front view. Now in order to sketch its front view, first of all let us see how many total number of faces are there in this picture. And from these faces we will identify how many we should represent in the front view. And we know when we look at the object from front, we see only those faces which are either parallel to the vertical plane or inclined to the vertical plane. So let us observe carefully how many faces we will see when we will look at this object from front, or I should say how many faces we should represent in the front as visible faces or hidden faces. Now in this case we can clearly see that there is a cylindrical part in the object in the center marked as face 1. And we know if we have a cylinder and when we are looking at cylinder from front side which is lying at its base or in vertical position, then its front view will be a rectangular face and length of that rectangle will be equal to its diameter, which is 72 mm in this case, and height of that rectangle will be equal to the height of cylinder, which is 52 mm labeled over here. So we have concluded that when we will draw the front view of this object, we have to represent face number 1 as a rectangular face of length 72 mm and height 52 mm. Apart from face 1, we have to represent face number 2 and face number 3 as rectangular faces because these two are parallel to VP. And there are two more faces we have to represent in the front view and those will be hidden faces. These are face number 4 and face number 5. These two faces are parallel to VP but these two faces are hidden behind face number 2 and face number 3. So we have to show face number 4, face number 5 as hidden faces in the front view. Apart from these faces, we have to show a hole of diameter 48 in the front view. And we have to make a very important observation over here that this particular hole is not a through hole. It is a blind hole because its depth is mentioned. The depth is 24 mm. It means we have to show this hole as hidden hole for a depth of 24 mm in the front view. So we have concluded that in the front view of this object, we have to show face number 1 as a rectangular face, face number 2, face number 3, face number 4, face number 5 and this hole. Before starting its front view, let me clear one more thing over here. And I have discussed this in previous problems also, that when we look at isometric projection of any object, it may happen that some portion of the object may not be visible to you in that isometric projection. This is the limitation of isometric projection. If this happens, like in this case, we are unable to see its right hand side properly, then you should see the symmetry of the object. You can see center lines are marked, and we can see object is symmetric about both the axes. So we can say whatever we have on the left side, same features are there on the right side. So this particular face is also there on the right side. So don't get confused if you get such situations. Just see the symmetry of the object and accordingly decide the faces. Okay, now let us start with face number 1. So we have concluded for face number 1 we have to draw a rectangle of length 72 and height 52. So let us draw that rectangle. So this is a length of 72, this is a height of 52 mm. Then again we will sketch its length as 72 and we will connect these 2 points, and that will be a height of 52 mm. So we have represented face number 1. Okay, now in order to plot face number 2 and face number 3, it is important that we should draw the center line of face number 1, because that center line will help us to plot these two faces easily. So we know the length of this rectangle is 72, so at the mid of that length we will draw its a center line. Now we will plot face number 2 and face number 3. So let us see how we can plot these two faces. You can see if we have to plot any particular face, we look for points on that face. So if I have to see face number 2, I will say there are 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we cannot locate these 2 points. Dimensions are not sufficient to locate these 2 points. So let us see which point we can locate for face 2. Now this point is placed at a distance of 75 mm from the center. Why? Because total length is 150. So we can say this point of face 2 is at 75 mm from center line. So what we will do? From center line we will sketch a length of 75 mm. So we will get this location, we will get this point. Similarly for face number 3, from the center line we will draw a line of 75 mm and we will get this point of face 3 as well. Now in order to construct face 2, what we will do, from this point we will draw this height of 22 millimeters. So from this point we have drawn that height of 22 millimeters. Now we have reached to this point, and from this point we have to draw this length. But this length is not mentioned in the problem. And if you will observe carefully, you will find that this face is wrapped around the cylindrical portion. And if I sketch a line from here up to this particular line or this edge, then this length will not be equal to this length, because if I draw a line from here up to this edge, this length will be up to this edge. But you can see this face is slightly wrapped around the cylinder, so that additional length we don't know. So this situation may happen in particular problems, where when you will start with the projection of that object and you will find that some dimensions are not clear to us in that projection. So what we will do, we will complete that projection as a tentative view and we will start with the other projection. And when you will draw other projection, you will find that all dimensions are sufficient to plot that projection. Then from the points of that projection, we will take projectors in our direction to complete the first projection. So this you should keep in your mind. So you can see we don't know this length, so we will draw its tentative view. Means what we will do, from here we will just draw a line up to this edge, as we don't know how much it is wrapped around the cylinder. This additional length is not known. So leave here only. We will get that length from the second projection. Okay. Similarly, we will plot face number 3. Means from here, we will sketch a height of 22 millimeters and we will draw a line up to this edge only. So this is a tentative view. So far, it is a tentative view, not complete projection. So after this, what we will do, we will plot these hidden faces, face number 4 and face number 5. So let us plot face number 4. So it is a rectangular face, its length is 30 and its height is 22 mm and it is hidden behind face number 2. So how we plot any particular face? We see the points and we locate the point with respect to other faces. Okay, so in face number 4 we have 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of these 4 points you can pick any one point and locate it with respect to other faces. So let us pick this point. You will find that this point of face 4 is behind this point of face 2. So that point is over here. It means from this point I can start the drawing of face 4. How much is the length of face 4 now? If I have to move from this point to that point of face 4, I have to travel a distance of 30 mm. So from this point I have to travel 30 mm towards right. And we know this edge of face 4 is exactly behind this edge of face 2, which is already drawn. So no need to draw it again. So from this point we just have to simply move towards right by 30 millimeters. So we will reach up to this point. So from this point we have to sketch this edge. Now this edge is behind this face. So from that point, means from this point move 30 mm. And from that point we have to sketch a dash medium line in downward direction that will represent this edge. So you can see we have represented this face, which is hidden face, which is face number 4. Similarly, we will plot face number 5. So from this edge measure 30 millimeters and draw a dash medium line. So this is hidden face, that is face number 5. Now after this we will plot this hole. Its diameter is 48 and its depth is 24. So what we will do, from center line we will measure 24 this side, which is half of its diameter 48, and from center line 24 other side, and from those 2 points we will sketch dash medium lines of 24 millimeters, which is the depth of the hole. Then we will connect these 2 points to show the base of the hole, which is a blind hole. So this base we have to represent for a blind hole. Now you can see we are ready with the front view. Means it is a tentative view so far because this portion is yet not complete because the dimensions given to us are not sufficient to complete the front view. So first of all we will draw front view as a tentative view. We will take projections from the front view in downward direction after drawing the XY line. Then we will complete the top view and you will find that we will be able to complete top view without any hassle. And from the top view we will get certain points. From those points we will take projections in our direction to complete the front view. That we will see shortly. Okay, so after drawing the front view, which is a tentative view in this case, draw reference line below it by leaving 10 mm gap because we are drawing in first angle of projection. Label that reference line as capital X, capital Y, and from all the points of the front view take projections in downward direction. And these projections must be parallel to each other and perpendicular to the reference line. And one more important point we should understand over here, that this object is symmetric about horizontal center line. So it means before drawing its top view, we must draw a horizontal center line on HP. And at what place you will draw? You have to see how much is the width of the object. Width is equal to its diameter, which is 72. So half of 72 is 36. It means we need minimum space 36. Plus we have to add a gap between the view and the reference line. and we take minimum gap of 10 millimeters. So half of width 36 plus minimum gap of 10 46. It means I need a minimum gap of 46. Then I will draw a center line. So if we will do this, our projection will not intersect with the reference line. There will be a gap of 10 millimeters. So after drawing the center line, let us see how many faces we have to represent in the top view. So maintain same direction and look at the object from top. So in the top view, we have to represent this circular face, face number 8. Then this face, face number 6. Then this face number 7, which is similar to face number 6. So we have to represent these three faces only and we will get our top view. So let us start with face number 8, which is a circular face. It consists of two concentric circles. So in order to construct face number 8, we need its center first. And you can see we have already taken one projector from the center line. So on that projector, draw another small center line for the top view. And from this intersection, now we can start the drawing of face 8. So use compass, put compass at this center and open compass equal to the radius of the bigger circle, that is 36 mm, because its diameter is 72. So this is center and radius equal to 36. Draw a circle with compass. Now use the same center and use your compass and radius equal to 24 mm. Draw the second circle. Now we are ready with the first face, that is circular face, face number 8. Now after that we have to plot two faces, face number 6 and face number 7, which are exactly same. So face number 6 is more clearly visible to us. So let us first plot face number 6. Now we know whenever we have to plot any face, we have to see the points on that face. So how many points are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of these points, pick any one point and locate that point with respect to this face. Okay. Now we know this face is a circular face. So if I have to pick a point of face 6 and if I have to locate that point with the circular face, then I have to locate with respect to the center, because on the circular face there are no points or no corners, I should say. So we will locate face number 6 with respect to this center. Now let us observe face number 6 carefully. If I observe this dimension, this width of face 6, it is of 18 mm. And we know from here center line is passing. So from that center line, we have a dimension of 9 millimeters this side and 9 millimeters this side. And this particular edge in the front view is represented here. And from that edge, we have taken one projection. So now we will use this projection. So from this center line, we will draw that width. So from center line, we will sketch a line of 9 millimeters this side and 9 millimeters on other side. Then from this particular point, we will sketch this length of 30. Then we will sketch this width of how much? 48 minus 18 divided by 2, that is 15. Then we will sketch this length 30 and this width of 15. Now you can see we have reached at this point and at this point. You can see again this length is not known to us, but now we have option that from this point we can directly draw a horizontal line which will intersect this circle. See, now we got this additional length which is wrapped around the cylinder, this additional length. Same we will do on the other side. Fine. So this length was not clear to us when we were looking at the object from front. And in the front view we were unable to represent that length. But now you can see in the top view we have an option. We just have to draw a straight line and that will intersect that circle somewhere. so we will get that additional length. So same method we will follow for face number 7. Means we will use this projector coming from this edge. From the center line 9 mm this side, 9 mm on the other side, we will draw two lines. Then we will sketch its length of 30, its width of 15. Then from these 2 points we will draw two lines which will intersect the circle. Now we are ready with the top view, but we have to complete the front view. So what we will do, from these 2 points we will take projections in our direction. Then from this point we will sketch a horizontal line, and then we will sketch this edge of face 2. And now there is no need of this edge because it is merged with face 2, so we will remove it, we will erase it. Same method we follow for face number 3. Means extend this line up to that projector taken from the top view, then represent that edge and remove this edge because cylinder is merged with face number 3. So now we are ready with the front view as well. So after this we have to place dimensions. So let us place its length dimension, which is 150 in this case. Then we will place this internal diameter of 48 mm. Then we will place these two dimensions of 30 each. Then we will place the outer diameter, which is 72 mm. After that we should place height dimensions. 52 mm is the total height. Then this height is of 22. Then we have to show the depth also for the hole, which is 24 mm. Then after that we should place the total width of the object, which is 48 mm. Then we will place this width, that is 18 millimeters. So now we are ready with our projections. I hope the answer is clear to you. Thank you very much.